We just got a bunch of new information about Madden 26, including some new features that were explained, as well as a ton of new player ratings and a schedule for when we can expect more information to drop, which includes the first patch update that will be in the game on the day of its release. So if you guys want to learn about this and more, stick around after the intro. If you guys need fast, cheap, reliable coins for your ultimate team, check out my coin sponsors at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 6% off your order. Link in the description below. The champ is here! Welcome back, Money Team. This is Madden Money Shots. Sniff out the Madden cheese as always. We are about a little over a week away from officially being able to have our hands on Madden 26 and see if it lives up to all the hype that we're getting, as we see that College Football 26 necessarily did not. But that's because I feel like, and I've said this in previous videos, that it feels like the development team at EA spent a lot more time putting effort into Madden to make sure that this game is a lot smoother. And I got a lot of information here to support that. But before I do, as always, if you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section. Other than that, let's go and skip right into the video. Now, I want to go back a couple of days because before this weekend, there was a lot of information coming out about Madden 26 that I decided not to make a video about based off the fact that a lot of it was really rinse and repeat stuff from college football. And a lot of the stuff that they went over has already been debunked if you're playing College Football 26 right now. Things like the custom defensive zones. Yeah, you can use them in the game, but if they play Madden the same way that they play College Football 26, a lot of times you don't have enough time to really do much with the custom zones anyway, as there really isn't enough time to make adjustments between when your opponent comes up to the line of scrimmage and hikes the ball. I think it would be beneficial for all the, I mean, you have a ton of adjustments you can make, but I think it'd be beneficial to add a slower walk-up animation or something for people that are coming to the line of scrimmage, because you get quick hiked a lot before you can really make a ton of adjustments. So to me, that's something that, yeah, it's a cool thing in the game, but I don't even think you can really do it against a computer. Even if you play like an offline dynasty like I typically do, you don't really have a lot of time to do custom defensive zone adjustments and stuff like that. So I do feel like in Madden it'll be a little bit more useful because people take a little bit more time to read the defense, set up plays, especially when it comes to like deep passing plays like one-play touchdowns and stuff like that. You see that a lot more in Madden than you see in College Football 26. So I do think that this is definitely beneficial, but at the same time, it's like it shouldn't be something that they're promoting, considering that the people who are already playing a very similar game realize how it's not necessarily the most useful based off the amount of time that you have. They also talk about the new RPO coach adjustments, which hopefully it works in Madden because it doesn't really work at all in college football. I mean, the RPO defense is just better in general, but it doesn't work the way that they explain it in the game. Like it's supposed to just automatically send the flat defender after the bubble screen or something like that. It doesn't work that way. It talks about a lot of other things, which a lot of it really sound just like bullet points and just a lot of words. Because let's be honest, Madden might not be the best, or EA might not be the best at making football games, but they are one of the best when it comes to promoting them, because they're constantly promoting games. And, you know, College Football 25 was a really good game, but it didn't deserve to be the highest selling game ever, the most sold sports game in North American history. So that just goes to show you how good they are at promoting these things compared to how they actually deliver when you play them. But they talk about some things that, you know, are all basically in college football already, like updated SWAT mechanics. All it really is, you hit X and then you just jump higher than you would if you were going for an interception. I mean, yeah, so that is updated, I guess. Talks about improved pass coverage logic, and then it also says Cover 6 overhaul, which typically when they specifically state a specific play or a specific playbook or a specific defense, they're letting you know that this is going to be really good. So Cover 6 is probably going to be one of the better coverages in the game, which I really like because I use a ton of Cover 6 already. And then it also talks about explosive movement, which we already know that the faster version of the game is going to be Madden this year, not college football. And the one thing that they talk about too is the strafe responsiveness, which is something that they talk about no eyes, no pick going into College Football 26, which I've already mentioned a couple times in my videos, how I think that's total nonsense, because you can be looking right at the receiver or the ball, or looking right at the quarterback a lot of times, and still not get a jump animation when you hit Y or triangle. But that's been an issue that's been in the game for a very long time, so we're just gonna have to wait and see, because they've overpromised and underdelivered in a lot of different areas, and it's just something that EA typically does. Now, one of the things that was really useful information that came out is also the fact that you can get the game on 8/7. You can get it on the 7th rather than what's typically 3 days earlier, which is what was typically being sold when you bought the MVP bundle, was that you could get this game on the 11th, 3 days early, which is typically how it goes. But it seems like not enough people are buying the early editions of this game to the point where they're saying, all right, well, let's extend this to 7 days. Maybe more people will buy the deluxe edition over the course of 7 days if their friends are playing it and they want to get on and stuff like that, which is something that, I do think is a decent tactic. But it gives you a little bit of an idea of how well Madden 26 is selling for the deluxe editions and stuff like that, or how well the MVP bundle didn't necessarily sell when it comes to buying both games to get both of these games early. EA's kind of showing their hands a little bit with the 7 days compared to the 3 days. Now, there's already a lot of issues being reported as well when it comes to pre-downloading the game. This is nothing new. If you ordered the MVP bundle, this was the same issue that you probably had last year. I know I had it. I don't necessarily remember how I fixed it, but I know it wasn't anything too difficult. As I think last year I had to upload it through the Xbox app, which some people are saying that they can do. I couldn't do that. I tried to do that before I went on to this video, but if you did pre-order this game and you're having issues because you bought the MVP bundle, I was hoping that they fixed it, because I remember being an issue last year. Doesn't sound like they did, but like I said, it wasn't too much of an issue once the game finally came out to download it. It might just be something we have to wait until the actual 7th to download the game early on that day, which is not a huge deal considering that, like I said, you're getting it a week early compared to 3 days early. So if that's what happens, I wouldn't worry about that too much. There also is a report that I saw on Reddit from a lot of people that were saying that there's already an update reported in the game that's going to be uploaded once the game's downloaded, which is a total of almost 64 gigabytes in size, which is higher than the original estimation of the size of the game, which was around 42 gigabytes, which means they've already made 20 gigabytes, which is almost a third of the entire game in updates before the game was even released. But if you're wondering where all these updates are coming from, it's because we're already seeing a lot of these issues play out in mass in College Football 26. College Football 26, which is the same engine, is all of a sudden looking like the testing ground when it comes to a lot of the same features that I'll be putting into both games. So since this game came out first and a lot of issues have already been patched or a lot of issues are being addressed, it appears that they're already spending a lot more time behind the scenes improving these exact same issues so they don't happen in Madden the exact same way, which is something that I mentioned in previous videos coming up to the release of College Football 26. It was said that a lot of the development team has been spending a lot more time fixing the issues when it comes to Madden compared to College Football 26, which we kind of saw when the last update came out, that it really wasn't that big, even though they had been addressing certain issues before the first update came out. In general, it doesn't feel like they really patched enough stuff in College Football 26 for them to be, all of a sudden moving on and doing all this work behind the scenes to make sure that Madden has a much cleaner launch. Now, we also got a release schedule for when the ratings release was going to come out. They said that on Monday we're going to get the 99 Club. On Tuesday we're going to get the rookie reveal, even though we didn't because we got that today. And then they said today we were supposed to get the offense reveal, but they're a day behind schedule, which shouldn't really surprise anybody. So we might get the offense and defense reveal on the same day. We might get the full reveal for the Superstar X Factor mode. They're going to probably, mesh all these together for a day at some point, and I'll probably make a future video about it. So make sure to be a subscriber if you guys want to see that. But we did get the 99 overall ratings as well as the rookie ratings, which is some really interesting stuff there. But let's go over. I'm just going to give you my reaction to the 99 Club. I don't necessarily have an issue with any of these, but I do want to shout out the fact that Lane Johnson got the respect he deserves as a two-time champion and one of the best right tackles in history to finally get to the 99 Club. So I'm glad to see two Eagles players on there. Now, when it comes to the rookie reveal, these are the top 10 players. Travis Hunter has the highest overall at 84. Ashton Jenney has the second highest at 83. Abdul Carter at 81. And Mason Graham at 80. I know a lot of people going into the draft thought that Mason Graham had one of the highest likelihoods of being a bust, but Madden really likes him, giving him an 80 overall. Jalen Walker at a 79. Will Campbell at a 79. I'm not going to go over all these, but this is pretty much what you would expect, because it kind of falls in place with the draft order to a certain extent, with the exception of Cam Ward, who is the #1 overall pick. He is all the way down towards the bottom of this. He's a 71 overall rated player, which is not something that's necessarily surprising, because a lot of people said going into the draft that he wasn't necessarily a generational talent or a generational prospect as much as, quarterback needy teams typically move these guys up the board. He was viewed as more of a late first round talent that, once again, was considered the best of the class, which is why he went so high, which we see a lot. We see quarterbacks move up the board a lot, because if you don't have one, you don't have anything. And I do feel like he has a lot of potential. I'm not trying to put him down as a prospect, because he definitely has that mentality and that work ethic, and I think you're going to see that over time. But as a prospect right now, I think this is pretty solid. I think that if anything, he might have a higher development trade or something like that, because I do think that this guy will work his way into that. But I just think that that's really interesting. We also have a look at a lot of the other young quarterbacks, where one of the quarterbacks that I'm the most excited for is probably Jalen Milroe. He's going to make the Seahawks a really good team to build with based on the fact he's got a 93 speed, and I think he also had a 93 throw power. So, you know, he's definitely going to be a type of player that a lot of people are going to want to go out and try to get. But the quarterback class in general is not necessarily that great, especially when it comes to the ratings. You have Jackson Dart, who's the second quarterback taken in the first round at a 68. Tyler Shuck, who is a 68, although I don't even think, honestly, I don't even think he deserved to be a second-round pick. Shedeur Sanders, who I think probably should have been drafted a lot higher, as a 67, who's 1 point ahead of Dylan Gabriel, who was also drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders in that draft. Sticking with the physical attributes, I'm going to show you guys some of the faster-rated players in the game as far as rookies, because that's probably the most important. The Raiders added 2 of the fastest players in the entire game. If you guys played Madden back in the day, maybe like 10 years ago or whatever, we all know that the Madden was one of the most cheat code teams, and they had like Jacoby Ford and Darius Hayward-Bay and all kind of stuff, because speed is all that really matters. They added 2 guys. The 2 fastest rookies are both on the Raiders. Darian Porter, cornerback, who's a 96 speed, and Dante Thornton Jr., who's also a receiver at 96 speed as well. Maxwell Hairston, who I think was the first-round pick of the Bills, he's a 96 speed, really good athlete as well. I think he's also like 6 foot or 6'1", really good cornerback to build. One of the fastest running backs in the entire game this year was added, and I want to say his name is Bashul Tootin, who's a 95 speed guy, went to the Jaguars. As they come up twice here in the top 5, they also have Caleb Ransall, who's a free safety, who's a 95 speed safety as well. So a lot of speed being added to these teams. But corners and safeties and receivers and all that, they're supposed to be fast. So let's go over some of the skill position players that are also really fast. Once again, leading off with the Raiders, who have the fastest middle linebacker added to the game in Jalen Walker. So 92 speed middle linebacker, definitely going to be great for a user. The Raiders are looking like a little bit of a cheat code in some of these regards. There's also Eugene Asante, who's a 9 speed linebacker, middle linebacker once again for the Dolphins. James Pierce Jr. coming off the edge at a 90 speed, first round pick of the Falcons, 90 speed burner. We also have a right outside linebacker in Kane Madrano of the Washington Commanders, 90 speed as well. And Jihad Campbell rounding out the top 5, the Eagles first round pick, who's listed as a right outside linebacker because he can really play inside or outside. He's close to 90 speed. He's an 89 speed guy. Abdul Carter, also 88 speed, coming off the edge. Mike Green, left end for the Ravens. Also, I think it was a first or second round pick. He was a high draft pick. I know he was projected as a first round pick. I don't know if he went there, but he's an 88 speed guy. I'm going to go ahead and end the video there, though. If you guys want to see more stuff about Madden 26, I'll have videos that I made popping up on screens. Just click links. And until next time, thanks for watching, man. My shit out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.